From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the primetime capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show with the one and only. And you know what time it is? It is the PrimeTimeAngles live. So, man, I'm looking very forward to it, man. I hope everybody's feeling good, feeling great today. Monday, it's a nice another little day off and everything like that for everybody. So enjoy your government holiday. I guess it's another President's Day, Founders Day, something of that nature. What is it, Lincoln's holiday or something like that, or Washington Day? But whatever it is, all in all, it's all good. So pretty much let's go ahead and jump into it. Over the weekend, boy, oh boy, we had a clash here in the 130 division where we had the battle of Viva la Mexico, and we had Oscar Valdez against Berchelt, and this was a hell of a fight that occurred on Saturday night, man, oh man. And let's go ahead and look at the knockout real quick. And boy, oh boy, man, I'm telling you right now, Berchelt, I don't know when he's gonna be back in the ring. To be dead honest with you, dude, dead honest, because that was bad. That was ugly. So pretty much, let's see how it goes, man. Boom, whoop, there it is. Okay, but hold on, let's go ahead and look at the full highlight of it real quick. That was a quick little blurb of it. Let's go ahead and watch the replay. There it goes. Oh. Lights out. So now Valdez is the WBC 130 champion now, and now there's a lot of questions getting asked. Will he go fight Tank Davis now in a unification fight? Because Oscar Valdez has pretty much put his name in the ring when it comes to who's going to be one of the top lightweights in the world right now. But everybody knows that a possible Shakur Stevenson fight could be on the horizon for him as well, too. So we'll see how it goes in the coming months and everything like that. But Oscar Valdez validated himself as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world with that big upset over Berchelt, because Berchelt was a monster favorite there, and as you can see, a much, much bigger man. But the chin wasn't there, and it is what it is at the end of the day. So pretty much Adrian Broner, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, and I know it's going to be a moment where people are going to be really, really like, oh, man, Pop, whatever with this situation. Like, they're not going to really be feeling me on this, but at the end of the day, though, I could care less. I think that Adrian Broner absolutely did great Saturday night, and I think that all in all, when it comes down to it, Adrian Broner is a problem, and the problem has returned. I think that you ain't never seen him that focused in years, and it pretty much, I know it looked like that it was a bad decision, but all in all, I thought it was a great decision because Broner was absolutely cooking in that fight, man. He was throwing his combinations, landing shots left and right, things of that nature, man. And he was just doing his thing, just absolutely incredible. And I thought that, Santiago was very game, and he was within it, the fight and everything. But at the end of the day, though, Broner hit him with the cleaner shots, more accurate shots, and the shots that all of us could really see. Now, when you're hitting somebody in the shoulders and the hands and things like that, they're kind of counting the points or whatever. But, those are rubbish punches to me. When you're not wasting your punches in a fight, you're winning that fight, unless you're being overwhelmed. And Broner was never overwhelmed by Santiago. So that's the biggest reason why this outcome came out that way. And another reason why a lot of people had this idea Broner lost was because we had a panel of broadcasters that literally showed their true colors against Adrian Broner, and literally were using personal feelings to go ahead and assess the fight. Yeah, Abner Mares, you should be better than that, because you're a boxer. You know that guy was getting his clock clean. And Al Bernstein, you were so busy worried about everything that was going on outside of the ring with Broner over the years. You weren't making any sense either. And I swear, Ronaldo, oh my God, dude, what was wrong with him? He literally, you would have thought that Broner took his girlfriend or something, dude, the way that he was talking. And I said, how could you be bigging up? How could you be complimenting a guy as he's catching a clean 4-piece to the chin and saying that he's doing a great job? And Broner's not landing anything, but he just landed a 5-piece on his chin that you're not talking about. So pretty much at the end of the day, don't do that. Broadcasters, don't bring your personal feelings into the situation. You're making the boxing look really bad with that right now, okay? Because the UFC guys seem not to have personal vendettas with the guys that are fighting, even though Conor McGregor talks more trash than anybody, you know what I mean? But those guys still don't have a problem. They still go ahead and call the fight the way the fight is going. So pretty much, come on, guys. Leave your personal stuff at home. This is about the third, fourth time I've seen you guys do this. You guys were doing this with Rolando Romero a few weeks back as well, too. So come on. Let's just go ahead and call the fights correctly, man, and not make it about you, okay? Because did nobody show up to come see you, all right? So at the end of the day, that's exactly how it goes. So pretty much with that, we move on to our next subject, and our next subject at hand is going to be this. It's going to be Mr. Edwards here, and this boy was over here doing what he had to do, and boy, oh boy, what a moment for him. That was a grandeur moment, but pretty much this guy goes ahead, sky's the limit, and he goes ahead and does his thing. And boy, why I had to talk about it, I know I kind of skipped, but I'm going to go back to it. But man, this dunk was absolutely crazy. As you can see on the picture, like, man, it's about it. You don't know what really happens here when you're looking at the picture right now, because he's still about 5 feet away from the rim. But let's go ahead and see exactly what happened in this picture. And boy, oh boy. And look at this, and even freeze for him real quick. Watanabe does not know that his NBA career is about to be over right now. And whoop, there it is. Oh boy. And could that be the dunk of the year? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and put a panel up about it, and we'll see how it goes. But that possibly could be the dunk of the year right there. Absolutely crazy, 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 crazy moment that occurred there. So pretty much it is what it is. Boy, oh boy, Anthony Edwards. Hello. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. 30 days and 30 teams in 30 days. We got the Tampa Bay Devil Rays here, the Tampa Bay Rays, as they like to be called now. So pretty much it is what it is at the end of the day. This team is coming back this year, and they're ready to, try to defend their AL crown and everything like that. But we know it was a shortened season last year, and, pretty much the Rays didn't play a full season, in my opinion. So at the end of the day, they were able to be the best team in all of baseball because of it. And they ran into the Dodgers, who were more than game when they got to them. But this was the right World Series as well, too, because this was a team that was living on the brink, living on the edge, things of that nature, of really being that team. So pretty much at the end of the day, though, when I look at it, the Rays are going to come back, and they're going to be really good next year. They have a very quality pitching rotation coming here next year. You got Rich Hill, former Dodger. He's stepping in this year. You got Chris Archer coming back as well, too. You got Ryan Yarbrough. And then you added Michael Wacha. So you know what? They've added a pretty good group, but it was hard to replace Snelly, though, because Snell is a hell of a pitcher, had himself a great series. But people have to understand that, they thought he was pitching the game of his life, but we all know what was about to happen, very soon in that game as well, too. So pretty much at the end of the day, man, this is going to be something that we are going to, watch. But I think this is just a middling team at best. And really, the Rays, you had a great year last year. You had your opportunity. You won the AL championship. You won the AL East. You beat the Yankees in Game 7 of the ALCS. Everything worked out for you in the right way, in my opinion. But you know what? At the end of the year, that was your opportunity to be a world champion. It didn't happen. And so what you got to do is you just got to go ahead and move on. So I do have this team going under 88.5 wins this year. I'm not saying that they're going to be a losing team this year. I'm just going to say that they're not going to be a top-tier team as they've been the last few years. So, pretty much the Rays, you guys be ready for them to make some type of big deal as well, too, in the middle of the year. But, big ups, though, because they still do have Randy Arozarena. this guy is absolutely monster. You guys see the numbers right there. He is a possible MVP candidate, so I would go ahead and bet that future up with him as well too. And then you got Glasnow as well too, who is another very good, solid pitcher, and he's going to be the ace this year for this squad. And you can see that, pretty much the Ks are there. The K over walk ratio is there, so this will be good money for you when he does pitch. So there it is, man. That's the Devil Rays for you, and we'll go ahead and move from there. So now let's go ahead and talk about the state of the Lakers. And the state of the Lakers, man, I'm telling you right now, this team is really playing some good basketball in a sense, but at the same time, though, this team could be much better. We all know that. But, no AD means that it's going to be a little bit of a time lapse here to see exactly how good the rest of the Lakers roster is, because LeBron's going to do LeBron things. So you guys have to understand that part. LeBron's a walking triple-double nightly, but all in all, he does still need help. The Lakers still are first in the Pacific Division, and they're second in the Western Conference. But I still think that the Lakers know that they need more, and right now it looks like they'll be jumping into the free agent pool, buyout pool, things of that nature, to be picking up maybe a big man somewhere down the road. But I still would say don't go ahead and throw Gasol away yet. Just go ahead and find somebody who can pick up the slack that he's not helping with. So pretty much there it is. At the end of the day, we can go ahead and look at the Lakers and say to ourselves, all right, it's about time we really assess this team and see who's going to really be here and be helpful for winning a championship moving forward as well too. So I really truly think we can figure out a way to actually get rid of players that people might have some emotion for. So I think the Lakers just have to breathe and just take it game by game. If you're a bettor, I would say right now, the Lakers are not a good betting team. They're going against a very hot Washington team who got another big win over the weekend as well, too. And they got a good win over the Blazers as well. This team has been playing really good basketball over the last 2 weeks, and we all remember what they did to the Nets with the last-second three-pointer and everything like that. So this team, man, I'm telling you, they're exciting to watch. The Wizards. So the Lakers better be on the lookout here, because they're playing some of the better teams in the NBA very, very well. And so pretty much it is what it is at the end of the day. And I really truly do think that the Lakers should be able to keep on moving, keep on making dividends, but they're going to have to end this little losing streak that they have going as well too. They're losing their grit at home to me a little bit this year. They really do need some fans in the seats, hopefully in March, as they were saying that they will probably be bringing fans back in by then, but hopefully they go ahead and actually do that. So pretty much with that, the Lakers, let's go ahead and see how it shakes out tonight. Washington seems to be a good little bounce back here after a tough loss to Miami Saturday night. Jimmy Butler did his thing, and Kendrick Nunn was actually very good in the first half of that game as well too. So, everything worked out very well for the Miami Heat, a team that had some revenge on their mind as well too. And, they're not big fans of the Lakers right now. So it is what it is. It's like that when you have a team that you've beaten in the playoffs this year. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves situated. But before we do that, let's go ahead and check out our sponsor here, one of our great sponsors, and that's going to be The Hat Club. And The Hat Club, hopefully The Hat Club can go ahead and get you situated, get you right. You guys go ahead and hit that discount on the discount on the show description. You guys will get 10% off on any $50 order or better. So pretty much, once again, go hit up the www.hatclub.com, and you guys will receive over 10% on any $50 order or better. Okay. So with that, this is the premier sports betting show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper. And this is the Primetime Angles Live, and we'll be right back to you in a moment.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll Have Another, and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube. All right, we are back with the Primetime Angles, the premier sports betting show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And you already know who I got in the house with us, our usual Monday correspondent, my main man, the Don of Cape Cod himself, the one and only Jeff Dawson from East Coast Sports Investors. What's going on, brother? How's everything doing? I hope you're feeling good, feeling great. It's a beautiful day today out here in LA. Hopefully it's the same out your way back east. How's everything going?
Things are going pretty good, Pops. The weather's been not too nice to us all last week, but a little warm out there today. It's a new week, new start, new beginning. College hoops as we get closer to the conference championship week, and then March Madness and opening day right around the corner.
All right, so pretty much let's go ahead and jump into it, Jeff. We got some great things going on. Is Michigan the team to beat in the month of March?
You know, with Juwan there, you just got that feel of the Fab Five, and watching them Sunday, it was a hell of a matchup against Ohio State, two teams that went back and forth. I think they got what it takes. They're definitely, it sounds like they'll be the number 3 seed currently right now. They can do it all. I mean, some people were talking on social media, comparing them to Baylor. I mean, offensively, they're better than Baylor, but defensively, I think it's apples and oranges. But I love what Juwan has done with this team. They got it all, and I like what I'm seeing, and I definitely could see a Final Four run for sure.
All right, so pretty much let me go ahead and backtrack because really I was supposed to talk with you about NFL first, but I was so excited about talking to you about Michigan and NCAA. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. So let's go ahead. Let me retrace my steps a little bit and get back to what and follow my script the way it's supposed to be because I know I caught you off guard. All right, so let's talk about it, man. Cam Newton, what is his best? Will Washington be his best fit at this time?
Pops, that's a great question because there's rumblings back here, believe it or not, that there's a possibility that he comes back here. And they're feeling no OTAs, no camp, and a full year with the Patriots, and now coming into a season where he could get the OTAs, he could get a camp, would be better than trying to bring in maybe a Jimmy G who does know the system, a Jacoby Brissett who also knows the system. Listen, I saw on social media what Cam was kind of getting goaded and from one of the kids, and that didn't look good. I'd like to see him get a new opportunity, a lease on life. Washington's got more weapons than the Patriots do, that's for sure. So I think it would work. I want to see the old Cam, that's all. And there was flashes of it in the Seattle game this year. He had a couple other flashes, but for the most part, he just can't throw. He can't throw it downfield. He was struggling there, and a little wear and tear showing, but I think it might work, Pops.
All right, well, I think that Cam is a great fit for Washington right now because simply Ron Rivera, and I think they could have absolutely gave the Bucs a run for their money if they would have had a Cam Newton playing that day because that defense reminds me of the same defense that Cam had when he went to the Super Bowl years ago. And I think that if they can go ahead and make the reunion happen, Cam doesn't have to do much, but just go ahead and do the run RPO that we came accustomed to know, kind of become somewhat like how the Ravens are right now. And I know that they can simplify this thing a little bit better for them in Washington than you can in New England, because New England is really built for the managing quarterback. I like to say the good old statue quarterback. You know what I mean? The mechanical robotic quarterback is perfect for the Patriots, but the mobile moving around quarterback and, making his own plays happen and everything like that, that's not something that fits very well with this team. And it's actually shown up here in it actually showed up last year. So I think that pretty much this would be a great fit for him. And the division's so winnable right now too. You know what I mean? It's the most wide open division in all of football. So you bring in Cam Newton, this would be something that would be huge for your squad, in my opinion.
Yeah, the NFC East, like you said, Philly going to move to Jalen Hurts. Washington, again, wide open there. We're assuming Dallas brings back Dak. And the Giants, again, we don't know what to expect with the Giants. It is a division that is probably easiest to go from worst to first in. I do like the angle with the reunion with Ron Rivera. Listen, I'm all for it. I'm a big Cam fan. He's kind of one of those guys, though, when he does the Superman or he gives you the first down, when you bet against him, it really stings you the wrong way. But, he's doable. He's likable, and I'd like to see that happen, Pops.
All right. So we'll move on forward to my next assessment. Will the Raiders go ahead and run after another vet here, and will they go ahead and pick up Desean Jackson? What are you thinking?
I don't see the reason why. I think they have some youth out there on the wide. Obviously, they have one of the better tight ends with Waller. Desean is just someone that he might give you 3 or 4 games. He's just always injured. And listen, if Philly's not going to hold on to him, I don't know why anyone else would. I mean, I think the Raiders can go in so many other directions. That's just my take on it. Unless you see another angle, I'd rather give it to a younger guy that I feel that will be on the field and be able to suit up for 14 or 15 games versus bringing in, the veteran like Desean.
Well, why I say Desean is because I'm just looking at it the same way that you brought in old Jason Witten, who came out of the booth and, and didn't want to play with the Cowboys his final season. He wanted to go to another team, help out a little bit. And the only team that was willing to deal with him was the Raiders. And they wanted him there to be kind of an extra coach. And I would love to see Desean come to the Raiders and give his experiences and his knowledge to young Henry Ruggs. This will be because they're a very similar player. And I think that this will be great for the Raiders on a mentorship situation to get people together and make sure that folks know that it's, stay healthy so you can stay on the field, things of that. It would be a great example for him to, have in place. So then maybe the effort will be a little bit better the next season coming out because you do have a good veteran there that's going to keep pumping you up and, getting you right. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like I could throw Desean out there, because Desean was somebody that they did have on their mind, back a few years ago when he was to become available, but they wound up sending him to Tampa Bay instead. And then he went ahead and they sent him over to Washington right after that. And the Raiders were always in the mix somewhat to bring him in. So I'm thinking to myself that this is quite a possibility that this can occur to where the Raiders can go ahead and just bring him in here now as an old savvy vet. He had a big-time touchdown late in the season in Dallas. So I think that maybe he might still have a few good plays left in him. And I think the Raiders would love to have somebody like that on their team right now.
No, I agree. I'm a big Renfro fan. They brought in Ruggs. The funny question, Pops, and you're closer to the situation than I am. The fact that it was Carr that was on the move and they were going to go in a different direction. Now I'm hearing Mariota's on the move. And listen, if I was New England, that was the guy that I wanted last year. And speaking of the Raiders, I mean, what are you hearing? Are they keeping Carr and moving Mariota or vice versa?
Well, Carr seems to be the man. Carr. People have to understand Carr has a great relationship with Mark Davis. Okay, that's Mark Davis's guy. They go out deep with each other at least once a week. All right, so that's why people have to kind of get this idea that pretty much to kind of get that idea that he's always on the the rope. You know what I mean? Like, are we going to get rid of him this week? The offer has to be absolutely outstanding for the Raiders to get rid of Derek Carr. Seriously, because we all know that there's only really like 12 quarterbacks in the league that can actually play for any team in this league right now. Derek Carr is one of them. Hate to say it. You know what I mean? And regardless of what people feel and how they think about Derek Carr at times can be a very cerebral quarterback. My main issue with him is holding on to the ball. But you know what? He's not the only quarterback that has that issue, holding on to the ball. Because the thing is, he's trying to be too perfect. So what happens is that you run into more sacks, things of that nature, or maybe your offensive line can be a little bit better as well too. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but from what I'm hearing, I think that they're using Mariota right now as a asset, as a piece to maybe get another piece or some more draft picks somewhat, but wherever Mariota goes, he would want to be somewhere where he will be able to start. You know what I mean? And I think that Mariota could possibly be a better fit for the Patriots than Cam Newton at this point, because the deceptive way he plays the game. So pretty much that's what we have there with that. So pretty much it is what it is when it comes down to it. And I just really do feel like this could be a move that can be made by the Raiders. But if they really do want to make a good move and trying to get rid of their quarterback, Mariota, at this time, I would be on the phone with the Patriots to see what they got for me. To be honest, seriously. And the Patriots always love giving up their draft picks, so it is what it is. Now let's go ahead and move on to our next topic at hand, and that's going to be Cliff Kingsbury. Is Cliff Kingsbury on the hot seat finally? Because I think that he's been absolutely atrocious with the Cardinals the last 2 years. He's just been lucky enough to have Kyler Murray and to have Larry Fitzgerald and to have a great defensive ends there as well too, with Chandler Jones there. And also Pat Peterson, who they're going to be parting ways with very shortly. Pat, he won't be a Cardinal anymore. And I just truly do feel like that he's blown. Pretty much the first season was okay because you're a rookie head coach and you guys are trying to figure out, you're trying to learn some things. But the guy ahead of him was a rookie head coach as well too and got fired. And I think even probably had a better season than he did as well too. But they said, okay, no, we're going to stick with our guy. We're going to go move forward from here. We're going to get rid of our quarterback that we drafted the year before to make it work with the Heisman Trophy winner who, pretty much was on the brink of being a baseball player. But we're going to make this thing work. So pretty much they got through the first half of the season. It was terrible his first year. Second half of the season, they were playing lights out. All of us were like, this is a possible playoff team next season. They come out this last year. They start off 5-2. They looking good. They're looking great. They're looking awesome. They're playing great on the road. You know what I mean? They're playing great defense. They're playing because the unders will tell you that they weren't giving up a lot of points in games, but they weren't scoring a lot of points either. Then we ran into December, and I told you December will always tell you how good your head coach really is, and he absolutely failed in the month of December. And he had 3 opportunities to get this team to the playoffs and blew every single one of them. San Francisco, big loss. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the year, they don't even have Goff there for the Rams. They can throw out a decent backup who does a decent job, and all he had to do is just manage and help them win that game. But I know Kyler Murray was hurt. Yes, I know that. But at the end of the day, though, it seemed like they had a better backup than the Rams that day as well, too. So, where's it? There can't be too many more excuses for Cliff Kingsbury. What are your thoughts?
He didn't win in college, and so they bring him in here, and then they blow it all up. They get rid of that quarterback, and they move all the way up, and they have, boom, let's kick Murray. So they got what they want. They got Kingsbury and they got Murray, but there was just too many holes. When you look at the makeup of that division, Pops, you got a veteran coach there with Pete Carroll. He's got Russell Wilson. You got McVay, who had Goff, now has Stafford, and now you got Shanahan, who has Jimmy G, but he's got his eyes on the prize with either Rodgers or Watson. I don't see the Packers moving Rodgers, but I can see the 49ers going all in and making a power move for Watson. But it sounds like Watson's going to the Panthers, but that's another story. And now you got Kingsbury. Should he be on the hot seat? Absolutely, 1,000%. This is a make or break year in my eyes. When you come in and you set precedents that this is the quarterback you want, and they go and get Murray for him, and you have plenty of picks in the drafts, and it's a tough division. With that said, I don't think Kingsbury was the play anyways. I'm not knocking the Murray move, but Kingsbury wasn't the play in my eyes. So if you can't win in college, how do you expect to win in the pros? I'd be shocked. Hey, unless they have an 11-5 make the playoff year. If they don't make the playoffs, I think he's gone.
I agree, man. I think that they have to make the playoffs. They have to get off to a great start as well, too, because if they get off to a bad start, if I'm the front office, I want to get rid of you. Say, we come out in first 6 weeks of the season, we go 1-5. Bye. See you later. Back to the basics. You know what I mean? We'll see you over at Houston University next season. You know what I mean? Or Houston University, SMU, wherever you want to be at, but you won't be here. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm feeling with that one right there. So pretty much Cliff Kingsbury, a coach that I felt that should have been fired. Him and Mike Zimmer should have been fired at the end of the year, but they have organizations that want to just go ahead and just stick with them. So it is what it is at the end of the day. So pretty much my next topic in hand before we go to our first break with me and you, Aaron Rodgers. Would he be if you're the San Francisco 49ers, will you go all in on Aaron Rodgers?
If I couldn't get Deshaun Watson, I would rather take a swing at a younger Deshaun Watson. If it's costing me a Herschel Walker move, I would rather go that way. I mean, Rodgers, I think, is going on 37. It makes perfect sense. A Cal grad, come back home. And I think Shanahan would absolutely eat this guy alive with their, play action pass. Get back to old Aaron, play action pass, being able to run, pass, roll to the right, roll to the left. I would love it. I really think I would. Again, I'd be punching tickets till the cows come home for the 49ers to win the NFC West, to win the NFC, and to win the Super Bowl. I think they're a quarterback away. And just like your Rams, the Rams last year, best defense without a doubt in the NFL. If they had a stable quarterback, if they had an Aaron Rodgers in LA, there's no doubt you would have been playing in the Super Bowl. So should they go all in for Rodgers? Yes. If they can't get Watson, that's my play.
But what's wrong with throwing for 13,000 yards in the last 3 years, though, what Goff did? 4,600, and then he threw for 39 last year. So how was he that bad?
No, I just think if you looked at just the facial expressions and verbally what McVay was saying, I think he ran out of patience. He couldn't run the offense maybe the way that he wanted to. I mean, back when they were rolling, Pops, the best show on turf, or we called it surf. I mean, Gurley was a big part of that, and he was able to make the deep throws. I'm not knocking Goff and his consistency. I just think he ran out of patience. That was my take on it, and I don't know if you agree or disagree there.
Well, you know what, McVay has made the move of his career. McVay, honestly, if the Stafford thing blows up, they're going to move on because that was a bad move. And if Goff goes to Detroit and can switch that again, turn around that situation over there with what they feel is kind of like a lame duck coach, then there's going to be a lot of people getting fired in LA but I don't know. But pretty much we will have to see. I think McVay really made a ballsy move in a sense. I think it might have been a little personal as well, too, to make a move so quickly the way he did as well. But our topic in hand is Aaron Rodgers, and I want Aaron Rodgers. The reason why I brought this up is because if I was the general manager of the San Francisco 49ers, I'd much rather give me a Rodgers right now. I know Watson's great and everything like that, but you know what? We're forcing our hand way too hard bringing in Watson, a guy who's never been to a Super Bowl, never been to a conference championship game, none of that stuff. And you know what? He has a possibility of maybe getting hurt, and Rodgers does as well too. But I'm just saying, Aaron Rodgers gets back to the Bay, he comes back home, and they really just need a 1-year fix of somebody getting him to the championship. This will be the best defense Aaron Rodgers ever had with him if he was able to get to San Francisco. And if he's able to get a defense like this, he can breathe easy. And I think that he can help this team in the same way Tom Brady helped out the Buccaneers. So that's why I'm going ahead and saying Aaron Rodgers, I would have to really go all in. I'm not going to have to give up that much for Aaron Rodgers because at the end of the day, I think that the Packers are quietly figuring out ways how they're going to move on. They're already coming up with their plans on how they're going to move on. First objective of business was bringing in Jordan Love. So pretty much the Aaron Rodgers experience is really running its course. So it's about another 18 months left. Why don't you get some value out of this thing, get you 2 first-round draft picks out of it, a couple second or maybe third-rounder as well too, and then, pretty much San Francisco can go have themselves a team that's a right-now team because they're not really in the business of building this team back up, and I think that's what you would have to do if you bring in a Watson. That's just my opinion in hand, so that's how I'm feeling.
No, I agree. And then, not to go back there, but I think the Goff and even the Wentz, the moves were also based upon the contracts. I think for you and the Rams, that contract with Goff was another reason they could kind of make that move is to get some cap relief. And the same thing I think with Wentz as well. Rodgers, signed I think for this year and next year. I wouldn't be shocked, and I agree with you. I definitely think the coach doesn't see eye to eye with Rodgers. 2 years ago, 13-3, and then get whitewashed by the Niners. And this year, I think 13-3 again and lose to the Bucs. Not getting to the championship. So I agree with you on that part as well.
All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. But before we take that quick break, let's go ahead and check out 6t.com. And pretty much you guys can ride share app with that right there. And you guys, I'm telling you, pretty cool app right there. You guys can go ahead and pull up in any town and get yourself a nice little car and everything like that. Rent, share, ride app. www.6t.com. Once again, you guys can hit the show description link and get 10% off on that as well too. So when we get back, we're going to go ahead and talk some college basketball real quick. Our bread and butter, me and Mr. Dawson. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Right. Let me get on there. All right, we're back. We're back. I just got to get off the 16 real quick. All right, so here we are. We are back with the Primetime Angles live with my main man, Chef Dawson, the Don of Cape Cod. And boy, oh boy, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, man. It's Monday. So it's a beautiful day today. And man, college basketball, Jeff. And first thing we're talking about, as usual, NFL. But we're the NFL bet exchange guys. And so, we gotta always talk about the NFL, and that's what they know us for. But this is where we really came together as one. And this is CBB, baby. And pretty much up first, let's go ahead and jump into it real quick, man. We got ourselves an we had an awesome weekend this weekend with a lot of good teams playing this weekend. A lot of teams showing what they possibly can be. And let's start off first. SEC having a down year this year. One team in the top 10 though. Alabama, of all teams, is in the top 10. Missouri was in the top 10 for the last month, actually, to be exact. But you see how much love this conference gets when there's no Kentucky involved? No love at all. Well, not as the Pac-12 should feel even worse because they're not getting any love. You know what I mean? They're using Gonzaga as the de facto Pac-12 team this year. So pretty much I really don't like the way the SEC is going this season, to be dead honest with you. What are your thoughts on the SEC real quick, Jeff?
SEC, the first team that always comes out of your mouth is Kentucky, and they were talking about the Blues all winning on Saturday, and that was Kentucky, Duke, and Michigan State, three teams that are basically out of the tournament now because of their name, their head coaches, and their past resumes are now back in the discussion. When I think of SEC, Kentucky, Florida not having a good year. I think the biggest disappointment in the SEC currently right now is Tennessee and all the potential that they had, and they had to start and they're just not finishing. Alabama was that sexy preseason talk on social media. We talked about it numerous times. People were grabbing them around 60 to 70 to 1 before the season started. Man, they can score in bunches, and when they're hitting the threes and then transition, forget about it. I don't think, though, they're a team that can go a long way in this tournament. I really don't. Yeah, you're going to catch them on a tough day when they're stroking the three, but I think teams, especially with that short window, they may win on the first day, but that 1 day of rest to get ready for the second game, people have a better blueprint on what to expect. But I agree with you. Yes, the SEC has had a down year. It'll be interesting to see the last few games and then the conference championships. For a lot of these conferences, does the cream rise to the top? Does Tennessee wake up? Does all of a sudden finally Kentucky start clicking, and the same with Florida? So agree, yes. I say yes, they are having a down.
All right, so pretty much my biggest issue with the conference this year is this. I knew Kentucky probably is going to have a down year because this freshman situation that Calipari keeps doing was going to backfire like it did maybe about 6-7 years ago when he had Norland's Noel, Cherry Rochester, all these guys that just were absolutely horrible, and they wound up winning 11 games that season. They didn't even make the tournament, but the next year they came back with an awesome group that was able to right that wrong. I think that was the superior group that they had as well too. That group that they had with it wasn't AD's group. It was the group that they had that went undefeated and lost to Wisconsin in the Final Four. I think that's the team that came back the next season that year because they still had the Twins there as well too at that time. And then they also had maybe not, but I have to look back at it because you have to remember when Norland's Noel got drafted, and that was the year after Okafor, or the year before Okafor, actually. So I'm thinking about the Duke boys, actually, who were much better the next season. But UK still had a really good team the next year as well, too. So pretty much I think right now that is backfiring a bit, and I think this is just really the reality of the situation now. You know what I mean? Alabama did a good job of recruiting. When Avery Johnson was there, he just couldn't coach them that well. And those guys actually stuck around after school. They didn't leave. It wasn't the school's fault. The school convinced them to stay because Alabama's a great institution that could convince you to stay. They just did them a favor by getting rid of the coach. So they get rid of the coach. Now they're the best team in the conference, and they've been brewing on being the best team in the conference since they were able to snatch up Colin Sexton years ago as one of the top prep players as well too. So pretty much the SEC with me, what my thoughts on the SEC this year is that they might pull what they did to us a few years ago when nobody saw the SEC coming. Everybody was like, well, the SEC really didn't do much this year. You know, they're kind of a bad conference. And then guess what? They put 3 out of 4. They put 3 teams in the Final Four. So let's back a little bit. But they're not going to get that many teams in this year. So, you know, they had a lot of teams in that year, so they were able to do that, pull that off. So let's move on. Let's talk about Syracuse Duke real quick. And Syracuse Duke, we got ourselves a really good game tonight with Syracuse and Duke. You got a Syracuse team that's going to be coming in here, winners of 3 in a row. Duke is the winners of 3 in a row as well too. My pick for this game tonight is going to be the plus 6.5 on Syracuse. Jeff, what are you thinking here? Who do you have here in this game tonight?
You know, it's an interesting matchup because the Qs came back from 20 late against Notre Dame to not just win but cover that game. I think it was like a 40-12 run to end the game there. And then Duke, great win against Virginia. You would think technically that this is a perfect spot for that letdown for Duke after just beating Virginia and lean towards the Syracuse side. But again, for Duke, they're in a spot they're not used to where they need wins and they need to start piling them on now. So kind of flip-flopping back and forth. I saw some steam on Duke before our show here. So I personally would lean Duke minus the 6.5, but I think that's a coin flip, Pops. The Syracuse team has kind of been kryptonite this year, been on the wrong side of them a lot this year. So we've kind of faded them and put them in the rearview mirror, but would lean Duke minus 6.5, but calling it a coin toss.
Got you. Duke, I just can't trust him, Jeff. I'm sorry. Not against the good teams, bro. Just can't do it. I just can't. I don't know why. I just can't do it, Jeff. I just can't. They've just been so bad against the good teams this year. I know but I know everybody's like, well, they did beat North Carolina, and you know they got a good win over Virginia as well too. You know what I mean? But Syracuse got March on their mind. I'm telling you. So that's Syracuse in March, man. You know, Syracuse, when they start clicking and start thinking and knowing what time it is, and they put themselves in Boeheim puts them in a tournament mentality situation. We'll see how it goes, baby. And then, you know, he did speak up on a situation recently, too, with the player that they said that quit. They all feel that he quit. And, you know, pretty much I got to agree and say that he quit as well, too. And, you know, pretty much the NBA is going to frown upon that as well, too. The kid thinks that they won't, but they definitely will. You know what I mean? So pretty much, you know, finish your business as we all want them to do. But let's go ahead. I'm Brandon Raven. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Texas Tech Oklahoma State game. Love Oklahoma State at home tonight with the kid Cunningham plus 4.5. They are they going against the 15th ranked team in the nation, Texas Tech. But Oklahoma State most likely will be a tournament team because they have a marquee player. And when you have a marquee player, they're going to make sure you're in the tournament as well too. So pretty much with that, I really truly do feel like Oklahoma State should cover in this game. They might not win, but they should be able to cover. And actually, it's been bet down to a 3.5 as well, too. Jeff, what are you thinking here? Do you like Texas Tech or Oklahoma State tonight? What are your thoughts on this game?
Texas Tech coming off a loss, if I remember correctly. I think the opening line is intriguing because we do know Cade Cunningham and Okie State should be a tournament team. Some are talking about Cade obviously being the number 1 pick in the draft. I thought the number was too high to start with. I think Texas Tech is one of those dangerous teams come tournament time. I would not want them in the brackets. I think in our eyes at ECSI, I think they're trying to bait us to lean to Oklahoma State. I think it's close early. I think second half Tech will find a way to get them. I would lean Tech minus the 4.5. But again, another toss-up. Back in our day, Pops, especially on Monday nights, you always grab the home dog and the points and sprinkled a little on the money line. So I definitely see where you're angling. Have no problem with that side either.
Right. And you know what? The Big 12 is so disappointing right now because Baylor's not playing. And the Big 12, this is crazy, Jeff. We got the top 10. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Half of it is filled up with the Big 10 and Big 12 top teams. That's absolutely incredible. And the Big 10 is having its finest hour right now, 3, 4, and 5. And they're just, and literally Baylor, I think Baylor needs to kind of be, Baylor needs to be maybe not disqualified, but they need to be bumped down a little bit for not playing over the last few weeks. You know what I mean? Because it would be great to see Michigan move up to number 2. You know what I mean? Because they are playing like the second best team in the nation, if not the best team in the nation right now. You know, so pretty much.
I have to.
Let's go ahead and
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Finish up.
How hot Michigan is playing. It's kind of unfair for the Baylor team, and real disappointing was, I think it was in November, early December, they had a game with Gonzaga that was canceled because of the COVID, and that would have really set the tone. You know, I'm getting a little disgusted. Gonzaga is favored by 30 every game and winning by 40 and 45, and I'm a true believer that come tournament time, that's going to bite them in the rear end sooner than later because they're not accustomed to being put into that tough spot where they have to make a stop or they need to make a 3 to, get the game to overtime or tie the game. They're a great team, okay? But I don't want to hear people comparing them to the UNLV Grandma Maz and one of the greatest of all times. That's hogwash.
Right. And you know what? And we all know what Gonzaga truly is. Gonzaga has finally found themselves an All-American, a real 5-star to come play for them, a top 3-player amateur to come over to Gonzaga this season, and it's giving Gonzaga an edge they've never had before. A dominant player who can come through in a clutch situation. Adam Morrison was built by that university, broken and hit a 3. I love the game of basketball, but no, he wasn't naturally gifted like that. You know what I mean? But this kid that they have now, Suggs, this kid can play. And that's the thing. And he really pushes this team. And if something happens to him tournament-wise, it's a wrap for these guys because their mental is not as strong as Michigan's mental, as Ohio State's mental, as Villanova's mental. You know what I mean? And that's why I keep telling myself this is going to be a fun tournament. This is going to be a really, 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 really fun tournament. And even these mid-majors, these smaller schools, they even got grit and grind to them as well, too. That's why they're going to play a big part in the outcome of this tournament as well, too. So I can't wait, man. So let's go ahead. Last game, Oregon, SoCal, USC. I got USC actually covering big time tonight, winning this game. USC is probably the most disrespected team in the nation. This team should actually be number 6, number 7. They only got 4 losses on the season, but they got them at number 17. Jeff, what are your thoughts on that?
I can honestly tell you we have invested a few times in SC, and the one that stings the most was the game that I think we were catching 1.5 against UConn, and USC didn't score for the last 4 minutes, and I think they lost by 2 there. I agree. I think they're the best team hands down in the Pac-12. The flip side here, this is usually when Oregon gets it in their March run for the tournament. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. Again, I think the 4.5 is trying to lure you to the Duck side. I'm with you here. I think USC takes care of business. I can see them anywhere from a 7 to 10 point win.
All right. So, yeah, and Oregon's not the same Oregon this year, man. So it is what it is at the end of the day. All right, man. So pretty much I got to get into this NBA preview next. But before I get into that, though, I got to make sure you get your final thoughts in and everything, Jeff, and hopefully you come back and join us next Monday. Hopefully, pretty much we'll have some more great things to talk about, and hopefully Baylor give us a game by then as well, too. So final thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. As always, Pops, I love the Monday spot. Gives us a chance to wrap up the weekend and get everyone set for the week of what's coming on for college hoops. Good news, we'll be in Vegas March 19th through the 29th. Already booked, signed, sealed, delivered. We'll take it the first week right next to South Point and the second week right on the Strip. So, if you need to take a tiptoe into Vegas and we can do some live shows in town. Would love to have you there as well. So for anyone that doesn't follow us, go over to Twitter at EC Sports Invest. Follow us. We'll follow you right back. Check out our website at www.eastcoastsportsinvestors.com and any emails at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. As always, Pop, it's been a pleasure. Hoping that you and your guests and fans have a great week and look forward to next Monday.
And brother, don't worry about a thing. I'm putting together Vegas right now as we speak as well too. And I'm trying to be out there a little bit earlier in the week, but I'll make sure I will be there with you though, for sure. So pretty much we'll rock and roll, do some live shows and show them what we all about. You know what we do.
East Meets West, baby.
Yeah, all right. You already know what it is. So with that, we got to stay sharp with StaceyAdams.com. You already know what it is. Get that L&K 10% off with the claim that 10% off on anything that's $75 or better. And that's going to be the with StaceyAdams.com, LNK10. Once again, claim that 10% off using the code LNK10 at StaceyAdams.com. With that, we will be right back. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and this is the Primetime Angles Live.
The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
All right, we're back with the Premier Sports Betting Show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and this is the Primetime Angles Live. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our NBA preview. And up first, we have ourselves a really good one here, and pretty much. But there we go, talking tickets, just a little bit of a leak for you guys and everything like that. There it goes. 51-1 on the pick six tonight and everything like that. Grambling, Gardner Webb, St. Mary's tonight as well too, with the 5.5. We also have TAMCU tonight. That's going to be Texas A&M Corpus Christi -120, and then we also have the +9.5 on Lamar, and then we got Valpo +110 tonight. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our CBB Dog pick 4. So pretty much we're going to go ahead and get into this as well too, and this is going to be the Charleston Southern money line with the +140, and then we got William Mary's money line at +155. Also, we have UT Arlington at +170, and the Arkansas State money line at +140. So there it is with that group right there. I think that this should be pretty good for us. That's 39-1. And let's go ahead and jump into this NBA preview real quick. Okay. You don't have them? Oh, we don't have them? All right. Okay. All right. So pretty much the Rockets and the Bulls tonight. Now, in this game with the Rockets and the Bulls tonight, you have yourself two teams that are kind of going in two different directions as well too. So pretty much you have yourself a Houston team that's 2-8 in the month of February, 5-5 over and under in the month of February, 1-8-1 over and under in the month of February, 0-4-1 in over unders as well too. And then we have the 6-5 Bulls in February, and then we have the 5-6 over under in February. Also the 9-5 over and under on the road, and then we have the 8-2 over and under versus the West, and 3-2 on the road versus the West. So there it is with that. The Bulls coming into the game 13-16, while the Rockets are 11-17. So it looks like a scoreboard watching game to me. Now let's move on to the Grizzlies at the Mavs, and the Grizzlies at the Mavs is going to be a good one, and it's going to be they're 5-7 straight up in the month of February, and they're 5-7 against the spread as well too in the month of February. Also, they're 2-3 on the road, and they are and that's in the month of February this month as well too. And then we have the Mavs 5-3 straight up in February, the 3-5 against the spread in February as well, and 4-3 at home in February. So the Mavs kind of coming into this game, they're starting to pick it up a little bit, starting to look like that playoff team that we knew last year. And so pretty much I'll have the answer for you guys in a moment, even though you did see it just a second ago, but we'll go over it again. So pretty much the Heat 13-17, and they are going against the Thunder 12-18 tonight. So this one will be another good game. And I think what happens here is that you have a team in the Heat who are now 6-5 in the month of February, 5-6 over and under in February as well too, and 4-3 on the road. They're looking to be, they're looking to get back in this thing, man. And pretty much you got OKC, a team that really is just kind of just going through the motions a little bit this season. So it is what it is. And, this team has played decent this month. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so we move forward to the Suns and the Blazers. And I think that this one here is going to be a really good game tonight. You got Dame Lillard doing his thing, and he's trying to take care of his business and all that good stuff. And then you got the Suns out here playing some of the best basketball in the NBA right now as well, and playing very well at home. So this matchup does work out very well for everybody in a sense. But tonight, this is going to be a crazy matchup in my opinion. And you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to make this my dog of the day with the plus 210. And that's going to be the Blazers. Yesterday it was the Raptors who actually came through for us as well too. So we'll see how it goes. That dog of the day, always a valuable bet. We'll see how it shakes out. Now we move on to our final game, and our final game here is going to be a doozy of a game as well too. This is going to be the Hornets at the Jazz, and the Jazz coming in here as a 11.5-point favorite, rightfully so. This is the hottest team in the NBA. They did lose to the Clippers last week, which was news, but at the end of the day, though, that doesn't replace the fact that this team is still 22-4 since the first of the year. So pretty much the Jazz back at home, got some good home cooked meals and everything like that. So they plan on cooking some Hornets tonight. But the Hornets had played decent against the Western Conference this season. And I think this will be one of our better games in the NBA tonight as well, too. So pretty much Hornets at the Jazz. Hornets coming in here led by LaMelo Ball, but Rozier is still doing it, still killing it, doing his thing, looking very good. And at the end of the day. So here we are, Hornets at the Jazz, and over under 228 as well too. So this is going to be a pretty good game. It looks like it's going to be some scoring here as well too. So pretty much let's go ahead and run that super high five real quick. And let me go ahead and give you guys where I'm rocking tonight. Over 227 with the Bulls and Rockets tonight. And then and I'm going with that one because the Bulls tend to go over a lot in these games with the Western Conference as well too. The Rockets need a game where they can loosen up a little bit, and this is the perfect spot for that. Then you got the Mavs. I think that since they're rolling a little bit, and the Grizzlies are kind of playing whatever basketball at this moment, I think the Mavs are going to be good enough tonight to get this win by 10 or better. And then once again, I like the Hornets tonight with the plus 12.5. They did get bumped up from earlier when it was 11.5. So I think the Hornets are going to be good enough in this game to lose it by 9 or less. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and take them in this spot as well too. So I think that they should be good. And as I said before, my dog of the day, the Blazers money line plus 210. And there it is with that. And then also to end it all right here, I got the over 227 with the Wizards and the Lakers tonight as well too. I think that this will happen this will wind up going over with the Wizards and Lakers tonight, and I think this will work out very well for us, and this gives us a 40-1 ticket as well, too, for the NBA Super High Five, and that's talking tickets for you guys right there. So pretty much you guys already know what you can do. You guys can go ahead and check out these games on Football TV tonight, but you can bet these games on YouWager, where the world bets as well, too. So pretty much Football TV, press both descriptions, and you guys already know, just go ahead. You guys can get 7 days free on Football TV, and you guys can also get your match deposits as well too on 50% match deposit on the on YouWager as well with the POP 80 code of POP 80. So pretty much there it is with that. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today once again for another great show and everything like that. And pretty much we are getting on the wrap-up moment right here as well too. The internet getting a little unstable, so pretty much it is what it is at the end of the day. So you guys already know, this is the Primetime Angles Live. Always bet with your head, not with your heart, and the movement is moving. We'll be back tomorrow with some more great angles for you, some more great stuff for you to talk about, and it is what it is, man. I thank you guys so much. Once again, this is the Primetime Angles Live, the premier sports betting show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.